I can't tell you what she might have felt, what she might have went through. My experience here in almost 3 years, I do not see that.
Portsmouth interim police chief tonight saying she sees her department differently than her former boss. But not everyone is buying her explanation. That's our top story this Wednesday night. Thanks for staying up. I'm David Allen. It might be a case here of she said, she said. A week after entering her resignation, former Portsmouth Police Chief Tonya Chapman says she saw systemic racism within her own department. But interim chief Angela Greene doesn't see it that way. Here's a little bit about Portsmouth's interim chief. Greene was also sworn in 2016. She started her law enforcement career with the Richmond Police Department back in 2001. And as she told Robert Boyd, she's just as determined to run a world-class department.
Portsmouth's new interim police chief, Angela Greene, addressed the public today about the cloud that hangs over former chief Tonya Chapman's resignation.
It is a distraction. It is taken away from the great work that these officers have done over the past few years. It is taken away from the great work and the vision we want to go forward.
In a letter, Chapman claims she was forced to resign, and in her 30 years of law enforcement, she's never seen such systemic racism and abuse of authority within a department, a culture she was trying to change. But Chief Greene says she doesn't see the department the same way.
If there is an issue with any particular officer, that officer is addressed immediately. If I feel like there's a systemic issue or an issue more widely than one individual officer, that's when we bring in training.
Do you think there's a problem right now?
No, I do not.
Community members say today's forum was a nice try, but they're still as concerned as ever.
It seems to me like it's being blown over. We will never get rid of systemic racism if we don't talk about it and if we don't admit that it happens.
And we want a direct answers from her saying, we know about it, we're going to fix it, but we got this fairy tale atmosphere that's just saying, hey, it's utopia in the Portsmouth Police Department, but that's not the case.
So far, it appears Greene does have the support of her fellow officers, who filled the majority of the seats in the room.
And Robert, what's the likelihood that interim chief Greene becomes the police chief?
Well, we asked the interim chief if she even wants the job, and she says she's happy to be in charge as long as the people of Portsmouth, her fellow officers, and the city manager all want her to be there and approve of her job that she's doing. But she was very quick to say if the city feels someone could do a better job, she'll be happy to step aside.
Robert, okay, thank you for that.